Your heart is racing, your chest feels tight, and suddenly you can't catch your breath. If you've ever experienced a panic attack, you know that terrifying moment when you feel completely out of control. I've experienced it, and if you're watching this, likely you have too. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about what we can do. Hi, I'm Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I help career women to tap into motivation, to overcome procrastination, and to finally take action to create the second half of their life that they really want to have. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what we can do when panic strikes and how to stop living in fear of the next one. So here's what many people don't understand about panic attacks. You're not actually in danger. So the most important truth I can share with you is that thoughts are not real. That overwhelming terror you're experiencing, it's your body responding to a thought, to a stimuli, but it's not an actual threat. Now, knowing that intellectually doesn't really stop the panic when it hits. I know this myself. So let's talk about some things that we can actually do that work. When panic strikes, you need to change your physical state right away. So you can try this. So step one, think about square breathing, right? So you can imagine a square. And you can breathe in for 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, 3, 4, breathe out for 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 2, 3, 4, and repeat. Do this 10 times. So there are different variations of breathing exercises, but what this does is this switches out of a fight or flight mode, right, to get you back into that rest and digest mode where your brain can think clearly. It really taps into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is really where we want to be for healing, for peace, for calm, for grounding the body back into a calm and peaceful state. Step two is the challenge of thought. So often we know what triggers our panic. Now, it's true that often panic can happen without consciously knowing. That certainly can be a thing. But oftentimes, more times than not, we are familiar with our own stimuli, what triggers it, right? And behind that stimuli is often a thought, either conscious or unconscious. And once you can kind of get an idea of that, you don't have to think if you're 100% right. Once you have an idea of a thought that might have triggered it, ask yourself, is this thought real? And is this thing that I'm having this thought about, is it actually really happening? And look around and notice things. And just, what color are your clothes right now? Who's with you? And move also from thinking, from this what if thinking, which often can make things worse. Like thoughts like, what if I pass out? What if people think that I'm a freak? What if, all these what if things. And think about what is. And the truth about fear and anxiety of any sort is that we often move from moment to moment of anticipating, of worrying, of being afraid of things that mostly don't occur. And the antidote to this isn't necessarily positive thinking. It's about accurate thinking. It's neutral thinking. It's grounded thinking. Number three, and this is where some practice can come in, is decide your feeling state in advance. So right now, before the next panic attack happens, ahead of time, you want to decide what you want to feel instead. And you can base that on whatever you're doing. So if you're going to a party, you can say, I want to feel engaged. I want to feel social. I want to feel popular, and I want to feel engaged and interested in people, right? I want to feel awake. I want to feel excited. I want to feel confident. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel queenly, right? All of these things. Create a mental plan for how you want to feel. And what you can do, especially when you're safe at home or in a very safe situation, is you can simply practice this ahead of time. And you can say, okay, well, how does that feel whenever I feel confident? And I want you to play a little movie in your head on what that feels. If you can pretend, right, and use your imagination is so powerful in how we navigate the world. A lot of times we think that we don't have imagination anymore, but in fact, the imagination just gets a different job when we grow up. So instead of imagining all of these wonderful and amazing worlds and imaginary friends and characters and fairy tales and all these other things, we give it the very boring job of imagining all the terrible things that are going to happen to us. So this is where worrying comes in, right? It has everything to do with imagination. But instead of that, you're going to, ahead of time, imagine and see yourself moving through a day, feeling this feeling, feeling confident, feeling peaceful, feeling focused, feeling social, feeling interesting to other people around you. And note what that feels like. Know what that feels like in the body and try to memorize that. And when you move about in the world, practice calling that into the body. State it as an intention and then practice calling it back into the body. Now, this may take practice, but like all things, practice makes, if not perfect, it makes stronger. It makes better. And step number 4 is to change your physical state again, right? If you can. If you're sitting down, try to move about. If you're moving about, maybe you need to sit down. Try taking a cold shower. Try stepping outside into fresh air. Try walking in place, marching in place, running in place, doing jumping jacks. Try drinking ice water. And this is where I also want to emphasize, right? It's so important not to harshly judge yourself. And especially when these physical sensations happen, one of the things that can make them so worse, one of the things that can constrict our ability to change our state is often like this hyper sense of, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm crazy, think people are going to stare at me, think people are going to wonder what's wrong with me. You know what? F those people, right? Because we all have our issues. We all have things that we don't want other people to know, but you know what? You are human and you are deserving of doing what you need to do to feel better. And it's really important to learn to overcome that fear of judgment. That's another age-old fear, age-old subconscious thing that has come up with many of us that we carry forth from childhood. That's important to push back and challenge. You deserve to feel better, and you also do not and are not beholden to anyone's opinions about you. So it's important to change your physical state, and any major physical change can often help to interrupt a panic cycle. Now, if you're a woman over 40, you might notice your panic attacks may feel a little different. Maybe they're triggered by hormonal changes or overwhelming responsibilities as a caregiver, or you might have a crushing fear that time is running out to make meaningful changes in your life, which is a huge one. I know that was one that I felt a lot. Women can often experience panic as chest tightness, as digestive issues, as hot flashes, right? That often can get confused with other health concerns. And here's what I've seen is that career women who may look successful on the outside, but they actually are drowning in anxiety privately, internally. You may turn down promotions, opportunities, because that anxiety, it constantly whispers, like, what if you're not ready? What if you're going to mess this up? What if everyone sees through you? What if you just can't do it? You may have brilliant ideas, but never act on them because you get paralyzed thinking about everything that can go wrong. So you avoid social events, you avoid networking events, you avoid opportunities, you avoid anything that can promote yourself, you avoid speaking because anxiety makes you retreat instead of advance. Most panic attacks peak within 10 minutes or so. They rarely last longer than like half an hour, 40 minutes, or whatever, something like that. But here's really what you need to know. So if you're having regular panic attacks, they're usually a sign, usually a signal that deeper patterns need attention, deeper patterns that have formed earlier in your life that are no longer serving you. They may have at one point, actually. That's a whole conversation. But right now, they're no longer serving you, and it's time for attention, and it's time to do something different. So the difference between just coping with panic and learning to work with your mind and learning to master these patterns really comes down to this. So 95% of your anxiety responses run automatically from your subconscious mind, where simple things like trying to force calm, trying to do breathing exercises or mantras or anything like that, we're trying to think positively, it can't really reach it there permanently because there needs to be deeper work at the root. But imagine what becomes possible when you transform that same sensitive, perceptive energy that creates panic into your greatest strength. So instead of hypervigilance, you develop deep wisdom. Instead of racing thoughts keeping you awake, you can sleep deeply. You can wake up excited about your day. And instead of second guessing every decision, You trust your logic. You trust your intuition. You become the woman that others seek out for guidance because they can sense your groundedness. That's not just wishful thinking. That's what happens when you stop fighting your nervous system and start working with it. Now, I need to be honest with you about something. If you keep living the way you're living right now, where is that going to take you? 5 years from now, you'll still be turning down opportunities because anxiety is still telling you, what if you're not ready? What if you can't handle this? You'll still be lying awake in the middle of the night, replaying conversations from weeks ago, beating yourself up. You'll still be watching other women advance in their careers and their lives while you stay stuck in the same patterns that have been holding you back for years. And here's the hardest truth. Time doesn't stop for your anxiety. You're not getting any younger. And those dreams you've been putting off, those risks you've been too afraid to take, that authentic life that you want for yourself, that you keep saying you'll live someday, what if someday never comes because you kept waiting to feel ready? How many opportunities have you already passed up? How many relationships have suffered because you couldn't be fully present? How many nights of sleep have you lost to worry? How much joy has anxiety already stolen from you? But here's what I want you to understand. It is not too late. As long as you have breath in your body, it is not too late. There is still time to reclaim your life, but the time to do that is right now. Picture this. You wake up in the morning and your first thought isn't worry, it's excitement about your day. You receive an opportunity, and instead of immediately thinking of all the ways it can go wrong, you feel that spark of yes, I can do this. This is going to be good for me. This is going to be amazing for me. I can't wait. You make decisions quickly because you trust your expertise, you trust your intuition, you trust that you can handle anything. You sleep deeply through the night because your mind isn't racing through tomorrow's problems. You become the woman your family turns to for wisdom because they can sense your groundedness. You speak up in meetings. You speak up when you're with other people. You take calculated risks that advance your career, that advance your life because you're no longer paralyzed by fear. You're fully present with the people you love because anxiety isn't creating a barrier and a lodestone around your neck, keeping you from true connection. This isn't a fantasy. This is what's possible when you transform your relationship with your own nervous system. So I'm offering a free 5-day anxiety breakthrough bootcamp where we'll work together personally to help you understand your specific anxiety patterns and discover what it takes to eliminate them at the source. This isn't about managing symptoms. This is about understanding why you have this anxiety in the first place and seeing your patterns. But here's the thing. So this is one-on-one work, and I can only work with a select group of people because I'm one person. And I can only work with people who are truly ready for transformation. So space is limited because each session is personalized just for you. And the question is, are you ready to stop letting anxiety make your life decisions? Are you ready to stop waiting for permission to live the life you actually want? So again, this is 5 personalized coaching sessions that will take place between you and me. And I would love to hear from you. It's totally free. You do have to apply. The application will be in the description, or you can reach out to me. And I just want to remind you always that you deserve to feel calm in your own skin. Your nervous system can learn new patterns, and I'd love to show you how. Don't let anxiety make any more decisions for you, okay? Your future self wants you to be happy, and it's counting on you making the choices to do that. So if you ever were curious about hypnotherapy, if you like work and help with managing your anxiety, apply for that link in the description. And I hope to hear from you soon. Again, my name is Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to remind you always that in order to change your life, you must first change yourself. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.